It was a dark and stormy 2 weeks. Mr. Becker's IMP4 class was left to the mercy of a student teacher to learn brand new material for a big test. There was only one thing they could do to save their lives: math. How do you find the distance between 2 points on a graph? In this example, the points are 2, 2, and 4, 5. You can use your knowledge of right triangles by connecting the points and making the distance between the two a hypotenuse. In this right triangle, the A side is the distance between x1 and x2 in the coordinates, and the B value is the distance between y1 and y2. Using these two sides, you can apply it to the Pythagorean theorem. Using your A value and your B value, you can find your C value, which is the distance between the 2 points. To actually solve this problem, subtract x1 from x2 to get A, and subtract y1 from y2 to get your B side. For this problem, your A value would be 2 and your B value would be 3. Now that you have your A and B values, plug them in for the sides of your triangle and put them into the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing C value. When you actually solve out the Pythagorean theorem, you get the answer 13, which you have to take the square root of, because a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So the answer is the square root of 13, or 3.61. If you simplify all of this knowledge, you can make an equation which combines all the math we just did. If you see, once you solve this out, you will end up getting the same exact answer for the distance. The final equation is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. What's the midpoint coordinate between the two coordinates 1, 1 and 3, 5? You can use the same knowledge as before and create a right triangle to represent the overall distance from the midpoint. Then, to solve, you want to find the distance. Once you have the distance between the 2 points, you want to divide that by 2. The midpoint formula is the x or y value 2 plus the x or y value 1 divided by 2, and that will help you solve for the 2 different coordinates. If you plug in the variables from the problems, you can solve to get the coordinate. The midpoint coordinate is 2, 3. How to know if a point falls in a circle on the graph? For this example, the midpoint will be at the center of the graph, and the radius of the circle will be 10 units. If you want to know if certain points, like these, fall into a circle on the graph, you can use your knowledge of right triangles. Because the distance between the center of the circle and the edge will always be 10, you can create a right triangle with the hypotenuse of 10 to solve. Use your coordinates a and b as a and b values and put them into the Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus y squared should equal to that, or less than, of 10 squared, because 10 is the radius in our example. If it is equal to 10 squared, then the coordinate is on the edge of the circle. If it is greater than 10 squared, it is outside, and if it is smaller, it is inside. Now, you can plug the following coordinates into the Pythagorean theorem as a and b values to see whether or not they fall in the circle. These fall in, out, and out. If the midpoint of a circle is not in the center of a graph, find the distance between the coordinate of the midpoint and the coordinate being used in the problem, and use that to put in the Pythagorean theorem. Now, we know everything we know in case Mr. Becker mysteriously goes missing on his trip to Thailand. Thanks for watching.